Morning stories for tonight's episode. This is weird. All right, there's that. There's that. Okay. What is going on? What up? I'm trying to figure out this thing again. Every time I do this, every time I do a live stream, I can never get the chat to come up on YouTube. It's only coming up on Streamlabs, and I don't get it. I don't get it. Mrs. Interscare, what's going on? Thank you so much. Trying to freaking figure this out. Chat. I don't know why this is not working. Okay, so paste the stream key into your streaming software. Gotcha. Let me know. Settings. Go to live dashboard. Okay, yes. All right. Oh, wait, there we go. Wow. Okay. That's so sad. That's all I had to do. All right. Well, that's all I had to do. I'm so dumb. Okay. Well, it's fixed. All right. What's going on, everybody? Howdy doody. I'm just recording the story. I was supposed to record these yesterday, but I got kind of carried away with, it was really nice outside. So got carried away with that. And now I got to record them now for tonight. Sorry, I'm a little distracted again. I'm getting all my shit together. All right, throw those away and put that there. All right, let me pull up these stories and then we'll get her going. It's I've never done this topic before. It's music festivals, so hopefully these are good. Move this out the way, my guy. Slacking, yeah, I was, and I am. I be lacking, I be slacking. All right, music festival stories. 1. Let me get these set up, and then I'll probably start just because I got a lot to do in a very short amount of time. Per usual, I am a professional procrastinator. Been working up to this point and working to not work my entire life. I'm very efficient and very, very good at procrastinating. Yeah, that fucking time change, man. Like, I hate to jump on that bandwagon and say that shit, but every time, it's not as much when it springs forward, but when it falls back an hour, it fucks my whole week up. It takes me at least a week to just get back to some semblance of normalcy. At work right now, so this will be interesting. Oh, yes. Always interesting. What do you, Sam, what do you do for work? What do you do for twerk? Scott Jameson, neat, off work here in Vegas. It's cloudy and perfect for stories. That does sound like a good day. It's a good, what is today? Thursday? Yes. Sounds like a good Thursday in my book. Let me get a little bit of background ambiance going, and then we'll get these stories rocking and rolling. Rocking and rolling. All right. No, not there. Not there. Music there. Why is that still in there? No. Nope. All right. Not sure if this is going to pick up on when I record or not, but we'll see. Let's get a little something going. Yeah, set the mood. Work. Yes. At the fire station today, playing Left 4 Dead 2 and listening. Hell yeah, dude. Left 4 Dead 2, solid game. Both of those games are good. Oh, we lost a whole day. I thought it was Wednesday. I'm telling you, man, I know I'm not the only one, but I know I bitch about it every single year, but the time change really wrecks me. My sleep schedule, my coherentness, I can't, like, I barely can function. It just really, I feel like, haven't we not talked about the fact that we're just going to stop doing that? I've heard it for at least a few years now about how we're just going to nix it entirely, and I really hope that we can just do that, because I don't understand the point of it, and I don't see the reason for it, and I fucking hate every time it changes. Any raccoon stories? Dude, I've been saving those for a while now. Actually, there is some neighborhood raccoons where I live, and they always get into my fucking trash cans, and even this morning, I went outside before I left for the gym, and seen trash everywhere. I'm like, cool. Go over there, and there's a big ass hole in my trash can, and those fuckers, I'm about to get one of my guns and just lay out in a ghillie suit in my yard and just fucking take them out. I got a pellet gun for my son to shoot, so I think I'm just gonna lay out there with the pellet gun and just fucking take them out. Tired of going outside, my trash being all strewn across the road in my yard and shit. Trash panda stories, yes. Bruno, I apologize. Let me see. I'm gonna fucking decipher that message, because I'm not efficient in any other languages. It's probably gonna say booze, eat a dick, eat a bag of dicks. Alright. Hold on, everybody. I know. Good morning, guys. Booze, you're the best. Thanks, Bruno. Appreciate that. Yes, week has been so rough. It's weird to hear your voice not narrating a story. Yes. Phoenix doesn't have it? Or is that what you said? Phoenix doesn't have it? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Wait, you don't have it? You don't have daylight savings time? The thing has a higher percent of heart attacks, strokes, car accidents during the week after spring forward. I fucking believe it. I really do. Don't do that. There's some stuff you can buy from Home Depot that you can put on your trash. They will not bother it because they don't like the smell or some shit like that. Home Depot. All right, I'll look up that first, but if that doesn't thwart them, I'm I'm going out there like John Rambo style. Ghillie suit, laying in my yard. Maybe I will get like a paintball gun or something instead. I don't want to kill him, but at the same time, like, you drive me fucking nuts, you know? You gotta spend the first 10 to 15 minutes every morning going out there and picking up trash from the trash pandas. There are 2 states that don't have daylight savings times, and I forget which. Really? Well, fucking, cannot my state be one of those too? Because I'm tired of it. I don't want to do it no more. I'm tired of it. It ruins my whole couple of weeks every single time. Oh, Derek W, what up? What up, doe? Today was buys and tries for the guys. Raccoons taste like all possum. Do they? I've never tasted a trash panda myself, so I'm just going to take your word for it there, Derek, too. How long do we have you for today? Probably an hour and a half, somewhere right around there, so enough time so I can go edit these stories, throw it down for y'all tonight. Indiana and Arizona. Oh my goodness. I'm right next to Indiana. I guess it's time to move. It's time to move. Blindy Bear, good morrow to you. Lola, au revoir, Wicked Bubby. Alright, y'all want to listen to a couple of stories, shall we? Hopefully, hang on, let me do a test run here to see if this music's going to get picked up when I record. If it is, I'm going to have to turn it off. Alright, so let's pause that. Quidditch. Off. Hell yeah, we're good. It does not pick it up. We're good to go. And let me pull these stories back up. Take a drink of water, and then we'll get her going. McLean, what's going on? Arizona, still the same time. Must be nice. I envy you in Indiana. Apparently, you're the only 2 states that do it. I don't know what ruling you guys did or what you did to get that in place, but I really wish that my state would do it. Can you sing the story? Yes. I'm going to scream the whole story into the microphone and annoy you all to the point where you unsub and we never talk again. Hopefully that's okay. All right. I can't stop clearing my throat. Ooh. Alright, you ready? I'm ready. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how much I fuck it up. Alright, story number 1. The absolute worst experience of my life happened a few years ago at a music festival. I was in Vegas for a conference, some dull industry flop about software trends, and my flight home wasn't until the next morning. I was supposed to have a quiet night, maybe grab a steak at the casino for an hour or 2, and then be in bed by midnight. But when you're in Vegas, plans are flimsy things. You meet people, you drink. One moment you're walking out of your hotel, and the next you're in a cab headed to a music festival you'd never heard of until 2 hours ago. I don't even remember whose idea it was. I spent my free time with the other randoms in town for the same conference. Somebody at the bar mentioned the Route 91 Harvest Festival. Massive country lineup, dude. Someone at the bar mentioned the Route 91 Harvest Festival. Why am I saying route? I never say route. I say route. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I know you're at the edge of your seats already with this story, but just hold fast. I was in town for the same conference. Somebody at the bar. Okay, yep. Conference. Somebody at the bar had mentioned the Route 91 Harvest Festival. There's a massive country lineup, dude. Last night, Jason Aldean is closing it out. Jason Aldean. Is it Aldean or Aldean? I think it's Aldean. Massive country lineup, dude. Last night, Jason Aldean is closing it out. Oh, he's saying last night like this is the last night. Midgrid, what up? Thank you. All Ernesto, please make stories about Asian ghosts. Man, I don't really do paranormal stories very often. I'm sorry. I'm not with it. I like them, but I don't like them like that. I'll tell you what, if you don't listen to them already, J Nightmares is the place to go for Japanese horror stories. He translates them from Japanese into English for your listening pleasure, and he's a fantastic storyteller. Really good channel. Does not get enough credit. I'm not sure if you're listening to him already, but you definitely should. Arizona doesn't play with the time change thing, thank God. Yeah, you're fucking lucky, man. You really are. I wish we could get on board with that. I wish everybody could. It's so stupid. Randoms in town for the same conference. Alright, let's start this over for the millionth time. Because the way that was worded was just kind of strange. Damn it, I didn't mean to do that. Alright. Conference. Alright. Someone at the bar mentioned the Route 91 Harvest Festival. It's a massive country lineup, dude. It's the last night. Jason Aldean is closing it all out. Another guy at our table jumped at the idea. Come on, man, it's gonna be epic. You don't want to sit at your hotel all night, do you? And to his credit, I didn't. So after a few more rounds, I found myself in the thick of it, moving with the current of bodies, a plastic cup of something strong sloshing around in my hand. The festival itself was sprawling, packed shoulder to shoulder with people. Cowboys, college kids, girls in Daisy Dukes, guys in their straw hats, all swaying together under the neon glow of the strip. The Mandalay Bay loomed across the street, its golden windows reflecting the stage lights. It was electric, loud, sweaty, and the air was thick with beer, sweat, and the distant scent of Korean barbecue. I was drunk, but not messy drunk, just loose enough to enjoy it all. I'll admit, the music was pretty great, even if country wasn't my thing. I found myself getting caught up in it, raising my cup, whooping with the crowd, letting the night just carry me on. I even texted my wife a blurry picture of the stage, captioning it, "Didn't plan this, but damn, it's fun." She sent me back a laughing emoji. "Be safe," she wrote. I had no idea what was going to happen next. By the time Jason Aldean took the stage, I was deep in the pit, surrounded by hundreds of people. It was a sea of cowboy hats, arms waving, voices belting out the lyrics. The bass rumbled through the ground. I could feel it in my chest. I had my phone out, recording snippets. Oh my God. I had my phone out. Where were you? Okay. I had my phone out. I had my phone out, recording snippets, laughing at some guy next to me who was so hammered that he was swaying like a tree in a storm. Then the fireworks started, or at least that's what I thought they were. Somewhere behind me, high above, I saw bursts of light, tiny flickering flashes from one of the Mandalay Bay windows. The pops were distant at first, lost in the noise of the music. Somebody near me cheered and pointed up. Damn, they're really going all out for this show. I was thinking the same thing. Vegas really did do everything big, but why not have fireworks from a high-rise? Vegas really did do everything big. Why not have fireworks from a high-rise? But then the popping sounds grew sharper, faster, rolling in waves. Crack, crack, crack. I heard a girl scream, and not a concert scream, something pained and broken. I felt something zip past my ear, something fast and hot, followed by a thwack, like a hammer hitting meat. The guy next to me collapsed to the ground, just dropped, mid-song, mid-sway. At first I laughed, thinking he just passed out, but when I turned and saw his face, his mouth hung open, eyes wide, and there was a hole in his brow, and a black well leaking blood. Then a barrage of more pops, growing louder. People around me started jerking, twitching like they'd been electrocuted. I saw a girl clutch her stomach, a guy's hat fly off his head, and then I watched a girl clutch her stomach, a guy's hat fly off his head as if yanked by an invisible hand. Then, a slow, terrible realization crept inside me. This wasn't fireworks. The music continued to play, the lights flashed, and then all at once, the screams took completely over. They hit like a shockwave. 1 second we were singing and swaying, lost inside that music. The next, we were all trapped inside a nightmare. People shoved, stumbled, clawed at each other, trying to run. My drink slipped from my hand. My phone vanished between a crush of My drink slipped from my hand. My phone vanished into the crush of bodies. The guy next to me was still on the ground, legs twitching, mouth. The guy next to me was still on the ground. His leg was twitching, mouth moving like he was trying to speak, but nothing was coming out. And the gunfire didn't stop, it only got worse. A steady, mechanical chattering, relentless, cutting through the music and through the screams, through everything. The lights from the stage strobed over the crowd, catching the horror in these brief flashes. A woman gripping her bleeding throat, a man on his knees holding his stomach, his insides spilling out through his fingers. I ran. We all did. It was pure instinct, no thought, just movement. I pushed through the surge of people, desperate for an exit, but so was everybody else. The gates, Jesus Christ, the gates were right here. The gates, Jesus Christ, the gates were right here. We're right there? We're right there. Right here. Christ, the gates. They were right there, but it was a funnel, a clogged artery of bodies slamming into one another. Someone in front of me went down. Someone behind me tripped over them. The crowd buckled and swayed like a living thing. I felt pressure on my back, on my chest. Too many people. Too tight. My ribs grinding against bodies. I wasn't gonna make it. And that realization hit really hard. If I kept moving forward, I was gonna be crushed before I ever even reached the gate. So I had to move, now. I turned and forced my way backwards, elbows digging, shoving, apologizing without really meaning it. I cleared the thickest part of the crush and stumbled out into open ground. Bullets were sparking against the asphalt, and I threw myself down, barely missing getting clipped by a guy sprinting past me. His jeans were soaked in blood, but he didn't even slow down. I looked up panting, trying to decide and understand where these shots were coming from. The Mandalay Bay loomed over us, its golden windows reflecting the chaos. And then that's when I saw it. One of the windows, blacked out with shattered glass spilling from the frame. Muzzle flashes flickered inside, like hell itself had taken root in that room. A woman to my left collapsed mid-step, her hat flipping off her head. A man grabbed at his shoulder, spinning, eyes wide with disbelief. Nowhere was safe. A group of us, maybe 10, maybe 15, bolted in the opposite direction, searching for any way out. The gunfire never stopped. It came in these bursts, and then silence, then more bursts. The shooter seemed like he was pacing himself, reloading. Each time with the bullets raining down, more people would fall. We finally reached the perimeter. A wall, a goddamn wall. Not a simple fence, and not something you could squeeze through or duck under. It was a high, solid security barrier, the kind meant to keep people inside. We were trapped. Someone, this big guy in a denim jacket, grabbed the thing and tried to climb it. A woman followed him, her hands slipping in panic. The moment they got halfway up, more shots rang out. Denim jacket let go and hit the ground hard. I watched his body crumple. The woman screamed and dropped, her hands covering her head. Blood was everywhere. I ran for cover, my breath failing me. A few feet away, a man was dragging a girl, his girlfriend, his sister, I don't know, toward a flipped beer cart. She was bleeding from her legs, sobbing. He just kept saying over and over, you're okay, keep moving. But he didn't sound too convinced. I spotted a concrete barrier near the edge of the lot and lunged for it, diving right behind it as another burst of gunfire ripped across the open space. Bodies continued to hit the pavement. One woman was crawling and dragging herself forward with her arms, her legs motionless behind her. Somebody else was already behind this barrier, a guy maybe around my age or younger, gripping his arm. His sleeve was soaked through. He looked at me, eyes hollow, and opened his mouth to say something, but nothing came out. He was shaking. The gunfire continued, but I don't think I was even processing it anymore. My brain felt like it was trying to shut down, like if I just stayed still enough, I could wake up from all of this. But the sounds, the smells, the copper tang of blood, the sweat, dust kicking up from bullets and bodies hitting the ground, it was all too real. Minutes passed me, 5, 10, I don't know, and the gunfire eventually slowed. And then, the worst part, I think, was the silence that followed. Not real silence, not quiet, but just worse. A different kind of sound. The aftermath of it all. The moaning, the gurgling, the soft, awful whispers of people who weren't quite dead yet. Some of them would cry out for help, others just cried. The guy next to me finally slumped forward, his wounded arm limp and his forehead pressed into the ground. Somewhere out in the open, someone was screaming for their mother. I didn't move. I couldn't. My body was locked into place, shaking so badly that my teeth were chattering. I pressed my forehead against the concrete barrier, squeezing my eyes shut, but it didn't do any good. The sounds were still there. The low, wet gurgles, the scattered cries for help. A woman was sobbing somewhere close, a broken, gasping sound. The guy that was beside me, the one with his arms shot up, let out this soft wheezing breath and then slid down the barrier, coming to rest on his side. His mouth was half moving, but no words came out. His eyes rolled up, half-lidded. I reached out without really thinking, touching his good shoulder. Hey, man, stay with me. Just hang on a little longer. He blinked and his lips parted. He whispered, Damn, it hurts. I pressed down on his good arm, trying to stop the bleeding, but my hands were slick, completely useless. He shuddered and his body went loose. I wanted to say something more, to tell him he'd be okay, that help was coming, but none of those words would escape my mouth. Minutes stretched on, feeling like an eternity, and somewhere off in the distance, I heard more shouting, deep commanding voices. It had to be police, SWAT, more sirens, and the radio chatter of first responders. And then finally, movement, a rush of boots against pavement. Police flooded in, rifles up, scanning the carnage with wide eyes. One of them crouched near our barrier. His voice was sharp but steady. Stay down! Stay down! We're gonna get you out of here. I just nodded, body trembling. The cop behind him signaled, and within seconds, the medics were moving in. The guy next to me, his breathing was shallow now, almost non-existent. A paramedic knelt beside him, pressing fingers to his throat. Her face was tight and unreadable. I didn't have to ask, I already knew. Somebody grabbed my arm. Sir, are you injured? I just shook my head. No, not physically anyway. They pulled me up and guided me through the wreckage. That field was littered with bodies. Some still moving, but most of them not. Blood pooled in the dirt, streaked across the asphalt. Shoes, hats, cell phones, all left behind in the chaos, scattered like debris after a storm. I stepped over a cowboy hat, trampled and soaked through. Somewhere, somebody's phone was ringing, over and over. This cheery little tune. Nobody answered. They led me to this cordoned off area where survivors were gathering, dazed and silent. Some people were clinging to each other, whispering. Others were just staring, that 1,000-yard stare. I gave my name. Oh my God. I gave them my name. They checked me over. No wounds, just shock. Oh my God. Well, I need to take a fucking drink of water. Amy, what up? Howdy doody. I don't know why I have to clear my throat so much today. Alright, let me find a good spot to go back to. 1,000-yard stare. 1,000-yard stare. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I do need to drink tea. I hate going all the fucking time. Alright. Let's get through this. Throat spray LR or throat spray? What the fuck is throat spray? Is that like a porn term? You fucking with me, or is that a real thing? The only throat spray I can think of is like the one when you're sick. I hated that shit. That cherry flavored throat spray whenever I was a kid, and it would hurt when you swallow, and you'd have to open up your mouth and spray the back of your throat, and you're like, bleh. Yeah, that's what I think. I'll have to ask him. I don't know, Joe. Let's read. It's in his live constantly. Okay, all right. I'm gonna look it up right now. Cause I could legit use that. Because, yeah, for obvious reasons. Throat spray for is it dry throat? Maybe. Clear voice oral throat. This sounds like a fucking title to a porno. Honey lemon clear voice vocal spray soothes tired voices, relieves scratchy throat. Purified water, glycerin, honey citric acid, natural flavor, potassium sorbate, potassium benzoate, honey lemon, fresh mint, strawberry lemonade. Let's see the reviews real quick. Sorry. ADD, ADHD. I get distracted very easily, especially if it's something like this that exists that could benefit me. Boy. 4.5. This one's got better reviews. Beekeepers, immune support, daily throat spray. Soothe the scratchy throat, extra defense when traveling. Yeah, buddy. All right. We'll come back to that. Make that at home. I don't trust anything you say, Derek Boodle. I'm not making this at home. I'm not doing it. Or you make me some and then send it to me. I'll give you my address. And then I'll leave it outside for the trash pandas to fuck up like everything else they do. He said something about having it honey. I don't know if that's the same, but homie stays using some sort of spray. Homebrew is the best? Is that like homebrew? Is that the brand, or is homebrew like I make it at home? Brew? What up, brew? I brew stuff at home. Homie brew? I'm gonna make my own and I'm gonna call it homie brew. And then I'm gonna spray my homies' throats with it. Like that? I just created something out of thin air. Come here, homie, let me spray your throat. 1,000-yard stare. All right, should we get back to the story? Talking about spraying throats, and then now we're going back to the Mandalay Bay shooting, which is two complete polar opposites. Come here, man. No, open your mouth. I'm going to spray your throat with this. Come on, homie. Come here. No, it's okay. Just close your eyes and open your mouth and let me spray your throat with this. Trust me. You'll feel better after it. Alright. Hold on. I lost my clickety. Alright. 1,000-yard stare. 1,000-yard stare. Amy, is that something you really make? Or know how to make? And if it is, get me the recipe ASAP Rocky. PLZ. Because I could probably use some. I need something until my homie spray comes in, you know? Looks like this Beekeeper Naturals Immune Support Daily Throat Spray is pretty good. Got a lot of good ratings. 75%, 5-star. Alright, hold on. Tablet keeps dinging in the background. I'm sure you can fucking hear it throughout the entire recording. Tablet, eh, mate? Right. Alright. Alright, let's get back to the story, shall we? I'll only give you the recipe if you admit that root beer is the most superior drink. Man. I can't do that. I'd rather have a clogged up throat and scratchy throat than admit that beer root is a superior drink, because I don't believe it is. My good conscience, I can't allow myself to do so. Alright. Others just stare. 1,000-yard stare. All right. I gave them my name, and they checked me over. No wounds, just shock. Just that hollow, rattling feeling in my bones that one was never going to go away, not anytime soon. And then just like that, they let me go. I stumbled back to my hotel, past the flashing lights and the endless line of ambulances. My legs felt disconnected from the rest of my body, like I wasn't really walking, just floating forward. Inside my room, I locked the door, sat on my bed, and just stared at the floor. I pulled out my phone, 50 missed calls, my wife, my mom, my friends. I ended up calling my wife first. She answered on the first ring, her voice cracking. "Oh my God, where are you? Where are you?" Again, I found myself opening up my mouth, but no words would come out. She just kept talking and crying. "I saw the news. They said, Jesus, I thought..." "I'm okay," I whispered back. Silence, and then, "Are you hurt?" "No." More silence. Then, softer, "What happened?" I just shut my eyes and pressed my fingers against them until I saw stars. "Honestly, I don't know," I responded. "I don't know." She stayed on the line with me, her voice feeling distant, like she was afraid that I'd disappear if she let go. I don't really remember anything else I said, only that eventually she made me promise to come home immediately. And I did. But I never really left that place. Even years later, I still hear it, the gunfire, the screaming. I feel the press of those bodies, the weight of the dead around me. I see the guy with that shot up arm, the way his breathing slowed, the way his eyes lost their light. I don't really go to concerts anymore now. I don't really go anywhere with crowds. All right. Oh, don't you know? Next thing on Shark Tank, homie spray. Bro, I'm about to copyright the shit out of that. I'm gonna be one of those influencers on the streets and be like, hey, you ever heard of homie spray? No. And it's like, all right, well, close your eyes, open up your mouth, and I know this is weird, but let me spray the back of your throat. Put a camera in their face and be like, yeah, you like that homie spray? We've got 86 different flavors. That's the same reason I don't vacation in Beirut anymore. Where the fuck is Beirut? Alyssa, what's going on? Just them people out there, man. Yeah, I don't really like big crowds either. I don't like people for the most part. I like to stay contained to me hobbit hole. Go to the gym, grocery stores, stuff like that. That's my social interaction. And not even then, I'm like over it. I've gotten plenty of social interaction over the years. Like my buddy wants to go to Comic-Con tomorrow, and I don't really want to do it. Because you know why? You want to know why? Because there's a lot of people there, and I'm a giant fucking nerd. But nerds are stinky. Nerds are very stinky. Not sure what deodorant is. Not sure what a shower is. And I'm like, I'm an awkward dude. Like, I'm a fucking nerdy, awkward dude. But then I go to Comic-Cons and stuff like that and geek out. And I see some real nerds that put me to shame and are way more awkward than me. And I'm just like, how's this possible? Because I feel like I'm the most awkward person in the entire world. And then I get around people that are more awkward than me. And it's just like, it's so uncomfortable at times, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't know if that makes any sense. Even going to the grocery stores and safe, got hit on buying toilet paper at Walmart, and I wasn't even dressed up nice. Yeah. Yeah. I don't really get hit on, so I don't know what that's like, but I'm sorry that you get hit on just going out to buy toilet paper. Some TP for your bunghole. Take your homie spray and spray everyone. I'm gonna have to get some homie spray that like for your throat, and then homie spray, like have a whole line of it. So one's for your throat to help your immune system and your whatever scratchy throat, and then the other one is just going to be to reduce stank. So if your homie stinks, spray him. Hey, lift up your arms. All right, twirl around for me. Okay, yep, I'm gonna have to homie you stank, so we're gonna have to spray you. Sounds like Comic-Con needs to give out swag bag with nerd themes deodorant. I mean, if that's what it takes, you know, maybe I'll just bring deodorant with me. I'll bring deodorant with me, and then when they raise their arm to ask a question, I'll just like nonchalantly just like shoop, 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 shoop. I'm like, oh shit, man, sorry. My deodorant lid fell off, and I accidentally rubbed deodorant on both of your armpits on accident as you were asking that question. Maybe if you have an old-fashioned doctor's mask, complete with herbs in the nose for smell. I might have to. You know, I actually, two of my best friends were, well, one of them still is a mortician, and the other one doesn't work in the fuel home industry anymore. And I didn't even know that trick, and I wish I would have known it a long time ago, especially when I was in the Army. But they take, like, what's it called, Vicks, and put it in their nose, or like right underneath their nose when you get around like dead bodies and shit like that. So it doesn't remove the smell completely, but it definitely like hinders it, because all you're smelling is a Vicks. So maybe I need to start doing that. Isn't that sad that I have to like think about doing that at a Comic-Con? Like I'm gonna have to put Vicks under my nose like you do for dead bodies around, like just like, and I don't like to hate on people, you know, and I'm not gonna be like, God damn, dude, you fucking stink. Like, I'm not gonna say that, but just like catching wafts as you walk past people and shit, you're just like, oh my God, dude. Like, that just smells like pure ass. That is ass. Can confirm the VIX does help. Yeah. Might have to do that. Might have to do that. Even though I don't think I'm going. Even as local ones, not even big ones, you know. Not enough saline. All right. Should we read the next story and stop talking about butts and ass and homie spray, homie stank? Let me get another. All right. Oh, how many is there? Oh shit. Three stories. Well, I lost my place already. All right. The first time I went to a rave, it was like stepping into another universe. Bass that shook your bones. Neon lights that smeared across the night like electric paint. The press of bodies moving in perfect, chaotic rhythm. It wasn't just music, it was the current that carried me, a culture that wrapped me up and made me one of its own. This was years ago, and my heart still lives out there, but every festival that I rolled through, I was there dancing until dawn, sweating out every drop of reality in exchange for something different, something wilder. Digiforest, is it Digiforest? It has to be Digiforest, right? I don't think I've ever heard of Digiforest. I've heard of, what the fuck is it called? I don't know. Electric Forest, I think is what it was called. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing this right, because if I don't, some raver in the comments will be like, you pronounced Digiforest wrong. I'm an avid sweat Digiforester, and if you mispronounce my rave again, Digiforest. I'm not finding anything. Or maybe Digiforest is the name of a band? Yeah, it is. Is it Digi or Diggy? Oh, it has to be Digi, right? Anybody know? Anybody rant and rave? Is this... That's a weird name, yo. Well, hold on. Hold the fort. What was it? Digiforce was one time pop-up music festival in the woods. Okay. Alright, fuck it. We're just gonna call it Digi. Something wilder. Alright. Digiforest was no different. A one-time pop-up festival, deep in the woods, boasting an insane lineup for dirt-cheap weekend passes. The moment that I saw the announcement, I quickly snagged a ticket, barely even hesitating before I fired off text to my usual crew. We have to go. This will be unreal. At first, everybody was on board. Hell yeah, I'm in. Let's rage. The responses came flying back one by one. But then they dropped. No money, I forgot to buy tickets, last-minute work shifts, whatever it was. By the time the actual weekend rolled around, I was the last one standing. Just go, my best friend Leah had said when I called her, debating if I should still even bother. You live for this shit, just go. And I guess she was right, so Friday afternoon, I packed my tent, loaded up on some supplies, and drove out to the festival site. My excitement overpowering that little voice in my head whispering that maybe I'd have more fun with friends. This wasn't my first time soloing an event. The scene was full of good people. If nothing else, I'd find a group to vibe with. The drive wound deep into the woods, pavement turning into dirt, dust pluming behind endless streams of cars heading the same way. When I finally rolled up to the check-in gates, the air was already pulsing with a distant thrum of music. The smell of pine mixed with sweat, smoke, and all kinds of hippie nonsense. Inside, the festival sprawled out like an electric village. The main stage was this massive structure twisting LED screens. The main stage was a massive structure of twisting LED screens, beaming pulsating colors over the swarming crowd. Tents cluttered the forested outskirts, some decked out with glowing tapestries, others draped in fairy lights. Food trucks lined the side of the grounds, and the air was thick with grilled meat and fried everything else. I ended up setting up my tent in this quieter zone, close enough to the stumble back. Oh, close enough to what? You what, mate? You fucking what? Alright, hold on. There's over the swarming crowd. Over the swarming crowd. Wait, no, that's not it either. Okay. In fairy lights. I ended up. There it is. Okay. Spelled Metallica. Did you like digital makes sense for a rave, yeah? Digimon? Oh, Digimon. Pokemon was the superior, Digimon was the inferior. If it's unreal, why go? Go to a real concert instead. You're so right, man. That's so true. She was literally there by herself out in the middle of the woods, thinking all of this stuff was real, but in fact, it was unreal. Big crowd alone, that's a major nope. Yeah, you ain't lying. Were you at the concert, ma'am? Ma'am, what are you doing out here? I'm at the concert. There is no concert. No. There is, but it's just unreal. Alright. Shall we go back to this fucking story? I set up my tent in the quieter zone, close enough to stumble back to, but far enough to not wake up to somebody's bass blaring after party. Then I drove into the chaos. Then I dove into the chaos. People were flowing in every direction. Girls in fishnets and platform boots. Guys shirtless and painted in neon streaks. Somebody wearing a full-blown alien costume with LED light. Someone wearing a full-blown alien costume with LED lights. No, LED. Why do I keep saying lights? I'm so used to saying lights and not eyes. Somebody streaks. Somebody wearing a full-blown alien costume with LED eyes. Strangers grinned at each other like old friends. Conversations sprouting in the time it took to pass a drink or trade a glow stick. The first DJs kicked off their sets and the energy soared. I grabbed a drink, then another, and I let myself just get lost in it. Let the beat Ooh boy, fucking shit up now. I grabbed a drink and then another, letting myself get lost in it and let the beat take control. And that's when I met Tayden, tall, dark-haired, wearing a loose tank top that showed off his tattooed arms. He caught my eye across the beer tent, lifted his drink in this silent cheer, and then flashed a lopsided grin. A second later, he was next to me. "You're alone?" he asked, his voice smooth and curious. "I guess I am," I shot back. "Same," he said. "Let's change that." Oh my god. I can't even take fucking Tayden serious. What's up, man? It's fucking Tayden, bro. I spray my homies in the throat with my fucking homie spray. Homie spray by Tayden. "Same," he said. "Tayden's homie spray. Come get you fucking some. Open your throat, homie. It's me, Tayden." Alright. "Hi, my name's Tayden. I'm the CEO of Homie Spray." Sorry, I'm getting fucking lost in it. Tayden just sounds like a perfect name for somebody with a fucking company named Homie Spray. He said. "Alright. Let's change that, baby. Yeah, you fucking like that? Let's change that you're alone. What's up?" Alright. We clicked pretty fast. He had that easy charisma, the kind that made conversations really effortless. We talked about past festivals, about our favorite DJs, the absolute joke that were the drink prices. He had this way of making it feel like we'd known each other for years and years, like we were old friends picking right where we left off. By the time the next set rolled around, we were dancing, bodies moving in sync, glow sticks looping between our fingers. The air was thick with heat and sounds, neon flashes bursting over the crowd. Tayden laughed, spinning me once, twice, and then leaned in. "You want another drink?" he asked, breath warm against my ear. I just nodded. "Stay here. I got you." He disappeared off into the crowd, swallowed up by the flashing lights and writhing bodies. But when he came back, everything changed. Tayden pressed the drink into my hand, a plastic cup filled with something deep red, the condensation slick against my fingers. "Cheers," he said, flashing that easy grin, his teeth glinting under the shifting neon strobes. I hesitated for a moment before clinking my cup against his. The scent of vodka and cranberry curled up from the surface, the kind of drink meant to go down smooth but hit fast. I took a sip, the liquid cool and tart against my tongue, the whisper of citrus at the edges. It was strong, a lot stronger than I expected it to be. The bass throbbed through my body, a second heartbeat pulsing beneath my skin. Tayden moved closer, his hands resting on my waist, fingers tracing patterns against the fabric of my tank top. He was a pretty good dancer, fluid and effortless, like the music lived inside him. I mirrored his movements, letting the rhythm just pull me in, the world around us dissolving into this kaleidoscope of shifting colors and sounds. The festival was alive, hundreds of bodies pressed together, moving as one underneath the electric glow of the LED screens, the laser beams that sliced through the night. Faces were blurring past me, some painted in neon swirls and others masked behind glitter and mirrored sunglasses. The scent of sweat, spilled beer, and something faintly floral, cheap festival incense or maybe somebody's perfume, hung heavy in the air. I should have been lost in the moment in all of this. I should have felt that untouchable euphoria that came with these moments, something that made the world outside the festival just cease to exist. But I have to admit, things had shifted. It started out small, a slow numbness spreading through my fingertips. My limbs felt thick, sluggish, as if the air around me had turned into syrup. The flashing lights stretched and smeared across my vision, neon trails bleeding together, pulsing in a way that made my stomach twist. I tried to shake it off, to keep moving, keep dancing, but my balance was slipping slowly, my body growing unsteady and just disconnected. Tayden's voice curled into my ear, warm and smooth beneath the pounding bass. "You good?" "Yeah," I said, but the word barely even came out. My tongue was now feeling thick and heavy. My own voice sounded foreign, distant, like it belonged to somebody else. The sweat on my skin is now turning cold, a prickle of unease crawling up my spine. I swallowed hard, but the nausea swelled and rose fast. My pulse was pounding against my skull, the music warping, vision blurring at the edges. The world was now moving far too fast and slow at the same time. It was really messed up. I turned in search for something solid to anchor myself to, but the crowd was a shifting, endless sea of faceless figures pressing in on all sides. The bodies felt impossibly close. The heat was suffocating. Tayden just stood there watching me, his expression unreadable. I needed to get out of here. "Tayden," I managed to say, forcing the words through numb lips. I need air." I stumbled back, the plastic cup slipping from my fingers and vanishing between the thrashing bodies all around us. Tayden reached for me, fingers grazing my arm, but I jerked away. Panic licked at the edges of my mind, dull but growing. I turned and shoved past dancers, my hands tangling in glow stick necklaces and sequin jackets as I tried to navigate through the crowd. My legs felt weak, my arms were heavy. I had vomit on my sweater already. It was Mom's spaghetti. Okay. I gotta go back. My legs were felt weak. I fucking could not. Alright. Full but growing. As I tried to navigate through the crowd. My legs felt weak. My arms were... Alright, I gotta find that in. I might just keep that in and see if anybody notices, but is it insensitive for me to make a joke under this like kind of rapey story? I don't want it to come off as that. All right. My legs felt weak. My arms were heavy. There's vomit. I had vomit on my sweater already. It was Mom's spaghetti. All right, no. All right, spaghetti. All right, I'm keeping it in. B rabbit. All right. Let me. All right. My breath came fast and shallow. My heart was slamming against my ribs. Behind me, a shadow moved. Tayden. I didn't even have to look to know it was him. It was the way he moved, steady and focused. He wasn't dancing anymore. Now, he was following me. A sick realization curled up in my stomach. The drink. I literally walked right into it. I trusted this guy, and my faith had completely failed me. I shoved past a couple making out, nearly tripping over somebody crouched on the ground. The trees loomed ahead of me, the scattered glow of the campgrounds flickering through the gaps. I forced myself forward, cutting through the side paths, weaving between clusters of festival goers. The whole while, Tayden stayed behind me. Not pushing, not running, just trailing, waiting. I ducked behind a food truck, pressing myself against the warm metal, forcing deep and shaky breaths to try to get myself under control. My vision was beginning to tunnel, black creeping at the edges. My skin buzzed, a dirty electricity running through my flesh. I had a few seconds, maybe even less. When I peeked around the corner, there he was, still there, lurking, watching. He had this slow creeping grin stretched across his face too. And in that moment, something snapped inside of me. I bolted. I barely even felt my legs, didn't even feel the ground beneath my feet. I tore through scattered tents with my breath short, pushing forward on instinct alone. The festival lights blurred past me, swallowed up by the dark stretch of the woods. My tent. I just need to make it back to my tent. I ducked into this narrow gap between two clusters of gear, nearly collapsing as I fell into my own space. My hands fumbled with the zipper, numb fingers barely working, and somehow I got it closed. The darkness swallowed me whole. I curled up into my sleeping bag, forcing these deep breaths out. My body was trembling uncontrollably. The sounds of the festival felt miles away now. And then I heard footsteps, soft and super close. Someone was moving between the tents. I squeezed my eyes shut, pressing my fist against my mouth, forcing myself to remain silent. Outside, the footsteps slowed. Outside, the footsteps then slowed and stopped completely, right next to my tent. I laid there, quiet as I could be, and eventually, it just wandered off. I laid there remaining as quiet as I could be, and eventually, he just wandered off. As the night went on, more and more people began to drift away from the stage area and back to the campgrounds. I felt a lot more safe with people around. The drug took over, and I blacked out in a way I'd never had before. I admit to having to drink. What the What the flip? What the heck? I can't even talk. I'd never had before. What the heckaba? I admit to having drank a bunch of booze. But whatever roofie you gave, okay. I'll admit. Oh, Mom's spaghetti is making me nervous. If she shits on herself now, she might be safe unless she's into that. Are you talking about Comic-Con people or? Yeah, I never had before. Okay. Alright, where were we, my guy? Wait. I admit to having drank a bunch of booze, but whatever roofie had given me knocked me out for a solid 10 hours. I woke up with my tongue glued to the roof of my mouth, my head thick and fuzzy, but my mind was clear. The drug had worn off. My body still felt like a used rag, wrung out and weak, but I was coherent. I was here. Sunlight seeped in through the nylon of my tent, cutting the world into soft gold and muted shadows. Festival goers were already stirring out and about, the distant thrum of music kicking up again, laughter rolling through the morning air like a tide. It was a new day, and Tayden was gonna pay. I unzipped my tent and stepped out into the crisp morning air, gripping my water bottle like a lifeline. My legs were still a little shaky, but I moved with purpose, threading through the maze of campsites until I found a cluster of security guards near the main entrance. One look at me, pale, shaken, the remnants of last night still clinging to my skin, and they took me pretty seriously. I told them about everything: the drink, the wooziness, the way he followed me through the crowd, and the way I barely even made it back. One of the guards, a stocky guy and seemed to be older than the rest, nodded along with every word. "You're not the first girl to describe this guy to us," he said. That sent an ice pick straight through my gut. Not the first. Then they fanned out, weaving through the festival grounds, radios crackling. I stayed near the security booth, arms wrapped around myself, watching as they combed through tents and dance areas. My heart pounded every single time I caught a glimpse of a dark-haired guy out in that crowd. Then, after what felt like hours, one of the guards walked up, gripping his radio. "We got him." Relief hit me so hard that I almost dropped. They found him lurking near one of the vendor stands, probably already scouting his next victim. I didn't go near him. I didn't want to see his face again. The festival organizers took it really seriously. They pulled his wristband and escorted him straight off the grounds and handed him over to the police. I took a deep, steadying breath, feeling something inside me shift. I hadn't let him win, and I wouldn't let this ruin my weekend. So, I ended up staying. That scumbag got what he deserved, and so why should I still continue to suffer? I danced, I laughed, I met new people, and I let the music shake the fear out of my bones and replace it with something much stronger. I was done letting creeps like Tayden steal the things that I loved. By the time the festival ended, I had stories, not of fear and not of regret, but of survival. As I packed up my tent on that final morning, I felt it. The quiet, steady power of knowing that I'd taken back my space. That trip was huge for me, and I wear it as a badge of honor. Tayden had come to take something from me, from any girl he could. And it was very satisfying to help put an end to all of that. Oh, Tayden, you're a fucking douche, my guy. I mean, honestly, can we all be honest here? Let's take a minute, let's have a seat, let's look each other in the eyes and say that, are we shocked from these actions, or shocked about these actions from a guy with the first name as Tayden? Because I personally, I'm not. That guy looked like he has broccoli hair, ridiculously white teeth. His dad's a lawyer. He has a boathouse. He has boat shoes. How else can I describe Tayden? Because I'm probably fucking dead on here. I should probably buy this throat spray. Actually, I'm gonna... I don't know where my phone is. Hold on. No, I'll just do it after. Message Joel and ask him what... Excuse me, Joel. Fellow narrator here. What do you spray your throat with that works so good? Yeah, my dad runs a company, finance company, and I'm been interning there this summer, so hopefully I'm gonna be starting there in the new year. Yeah, no big deal. Been staying out at our boathouse all summer long and just enjoying myself, living it up. Yeah, can I get you a drink? Yeah, what is Tayden? Tayden drives a... probably a... I don't know, let's see. Racking my brain. Probably some sort of... like a BMW, Lexus. It's not his car. It's his dad's, or his dad bought it for him for his 16th birthday. This is probably his second or third one. I think there's one more story. Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. There's one more story. Oh shit. Mary Ruth's. Look at this fucking gal. Mary Ruth. This is suggested to me on Amazon. Can I put links here in the chat? I think I can. I think I can. Look at Mary Ruth. It's me, Mary Ruth. Come have some organic kids multivitamin. 60 gummies. Vegan, non-GMO. Stop. Warm water and do gargles. That will help your throat. Yeah, I need to do something. I need to get this throat spray going for sure, though. All jokes aside, no jokes. Guys, stop joking about spraying each other's throats. Spraying your homie's throat. Alright? It's not a joking matter. Alright, should we do this last story? Sounds like it's about Travis Scott. I know who he is, but I don't really listen. I know there's been some fucking craziness at his concerts, right? Wasn't there like a big fire or something like that where a kid died? I remember some. Mary Ruth is a great brand. Okay, well, I've never tried it. I'm not knocking it. I just like the picture, you know. She looks like a pretty bad bitch. Looks like she knows what's up. Looks like she's all about some homebrew. Looks like she's got her own medicine that just like mason jars full of medicine. Yeah, old Mary Ruth. All right. Story number 3. Okay, sure. Story number 3. All right. Mariah was obsessed with Travis Scott. Not just the kind of fan who knew all the lyrics. She literally lived for his music, for the energy of his shows, for the way it made her feel. When AstroWorld was announced, there wasn't even a question. "We have to go," she said, shoving her phone in my face with the ticket link pulled up. She didn't ask, she told me. And because I love her, and because I want to see that light in her eyes, I agreed. We got there really early. Too early. The kind of early where you feel dumb for standing around when nothing is really even happening yet. But it didn't matter. People were already lining up, crammed into the parking lot, waiting for the gates to open. It had been since 8 a.m., or at least so I was told. My God. Can't do this today. I've taken pre-workout today and that's it. Like, I don't know what's fucking my throat up like this. I can hear it every once in a while. I have to clear her out. I need a homie. I need to call in some homies. So I was told. It wasn't orderly. It wasn't orderly. It wasn't even remotely controlled. Just a sea of bodies pressing forward, all with the same goal. Get inside before the best spots were gone. 50,000 people. Even in the parking lot, it was wild. People were jumping barricades, rushing ahead and not giving a damn about security. The fences rattled and buckled under the weight of all those climbing over them. And it was like, oh my God. I'm gonna freak out. All those climbing over them. I'm gonna freak out. All those climbing over them. The fences rattle. Security. The fences rattled and buckled underneath the weight of all those climbing over them. And it was like watching a wave hit a dam too weak to hold. The first breach happened maybe 20 minutes in. A section of fencing gave way, and suddenly dozens of people were sprinting forward, shrieking and laughing, disappearing into the venue before anybody could stop them. Security tried to plug the hole, but it didn't really matter. Another section buckled, and then another. The crowd got louder, rowdier. Somewhere behind us, somebody threw a bottle, and a fight almost broke out. Mariah squeezed my hand. "This is insane," she said, but she was still smiling, jittery with excitement. I, on the other hand, was not. Eventually, the gates finally opened for real. The mass of people surged forward, crushing in on itself. We held our ground, moving with the current, fighting to keep from getting shoved underfoot. The pressure would come in waves, pulses of movement. The pressure came in waves, pulses of movement where you either went in or get trampled with it. Or you went with it. Okay. Pulses of movement where you either went with it or get trampled. Okay. The pressure, foot under pressure. All right. Oh my God. This is brutal. The pressure came in waves, pulses of movement where you either went in. Oh my God, I did it again. Pulses of movement where you either went with it or got trampled. Once we were inside, it was a whole different world. The festival grounds stretched wide and massive, pulsing with lights and sound. There were carnival rides spinning in dizzying loops, food stalls packed with people buying the overpriced beer and snacks, and stages set up over in the distance. Each one had a beacon drawing in its own crowd. Mariah immediately tugged me forward. "Come on," she said, already scanning for the best spot. My God. Oh my God. For the best spot. Already standing for the best spot. She didn't want to be in the back. She didn't want to be in the back. She wanted to feel the music, to be close enough to feel the heat from the lights that could give her a sunburn. We spent that first hour just wandering, letting the energy soak us in. Other artists were playing, smaller sets hyping up the crowd, but everybody knew why they were really here. The anticipation was a living thing, growing and stretching, wrapping around us all. Little did I know just how close we would actually get. Travis was supposed to go on at 9, and the closer it got, the more restless the crowd would become. You could just feel it in the way the people were moving, the impatient shuffle of bodies, and the tension coiling up tighter with every passing minute. Mariah continued to clutch my arm. "This is gonna be crazy," she whispered. I nodded, but something inside me had started to feel off. And then, finally, he appeared. Up on a towering structure, silhouetted against a massive screen, arms outstretched like a god looking down on his worshippers, and the crowd erupted. The scream of the crowd was deafening, a massive roar that swallowed up everything else. It wasn't excitement in waves, not that normal build-up before a show. No, this was something different, something raw, frenzied, hungry even. And I felt it before I even understood it. The moment Travis lifted the mic, the world collapsed. It was like a vacuum had sucked out all the air from the space around us. The sound, the lights, the sheer density of bodies. It all converged into one singular force. Hold on, I need some water. I need water. This is ridiculous how much my throat's like fucking with me today. One singular force. One singular force. Garlic in your tea? Fucking garlic in your tea. Mariah Carey at a Monkeys concert? I need something, alright? I need something. I'm really about to go all in on this throat spray of my own. All jokes aside, garlic and tea sounds disgusting, but I would do it if it helped. I don't even know if, hold on. Home remedies for constantly clearing throat. Hydration. Drink plenty of fluids. Staying hydrated helps keep mucus thin and easier to clear. Sip water instead of clearing. When you feel the urge to clear your throat, try sipping water or other warm liquids instead. Gargle warm salt water. Inhale steam. Where the fuck am I gonna get steam? Let me go suck on the fucking tailpipe of my truck? Alright, I'll go do that. That's healthy, right? It's the weather change. It could very well be the weather. The weather's always fucking with me. Lidocaine in a toilet brush. That sounds appropriate. I'll try it. Onions in your sock? Sure. Fuck it. At this point, I'll try anything. Use a humidifier. We have humidifiers. Consider honey and lemon. Honey can soothe the sore throat, and lemon juice can help thin mucus. Elevate your head. Avoid irritants. Stay away from smoke, allergens, and other irritants that can worsen throat irritation. Don't fucking tell me what to do. Be aware when you're clearing your throat and try to substitute the action with a swallow or sip of water. But what if I don't want to do that? Consult a doctor if the problem persists. I'm not going to a doctor. Stay hydrated. Avoid decongestants. Caffeine. Elevate your head. Fuck that. I'm always going to drink caffeine. Drink liquids. I already do that. Nasal spray. I don't have any of that. Humidifier. I do have that. Avoid decongestants. What is a decongestant? Does that mean medicine? What decongests me? Alright. Let's go back to the story. I'm getting carried away. Told you. Fucking ADD, ADHD is a very real thing in my household, especially with me. I get carried away very easily. The force. 1 second, Mariah and I had plenty of space, room to move, to breathe, and to just be. And the next second, it was all gone. The crowd surged up as one, a human tsunami rolling forward with brutal, unstoppable pressure. I staggered, my feet skidding, arms locking around Mariah's as the wave slammed right into us. We weren't moving by choice anymore. We were being moved, pulled, and shoved by something bigger than any one person. Mariah gasped out and clutched my wrists. What the hell? We had to get out of here. Now. But how, though? We were completely surrounded. The music blasted through the speakers, the bass rattling our bones, and the crowd reacted like a single wild beast, crashing into itself, eating itself alive. Another surge hit, this time harder, a ripple of violent motion rolling from the front to the back. I lost my footing for half a second, long enough to feel the weight of somebody slam against my back and shove me forward, right into Mariah, into a mess of flailing arms and shoving bodies. And that's when I heard the first real scream. It wasn't a cheerful one. It wasn't a not a cheer, not excitement, but something else entirely. Panic, injury, or death. Mariah's fingers dug into my shirt. It's too tight, she panted, her voice thin and desperate. I can't. The crush came again, bodies slamming together like tectonic plates. A girl in front of me just straight up disappeared. I didn't see her fall. 1 second she was there, the next second. 1 second she was there, and the next she was gone. Her hands reached up, grabbing at the air, clawing for something solid to hold on to. And then she was stepped on, trampled like a sidewalk. I saw a boot come down on her ribs, her mouth opening up in this silent scream. She tried to curl inward to protect herself, but another shove came, forcing more people on top of her. I saw a shoe fill in her mouth and another on her throat. Mariah choked back a sob. We needed to move sideways, not forward or backward. We had to get out of here before it got any worse. I twisted and tried to push left, but the crowd was solid. It was like trying to swim through concrete. No matter how hard I shoved, nobody moved. We were stuck. And that's when the real horror began. Another wave, another scream, another collapse and crush. People weren't falling onto the ground anymore, they were falling on top of one another. I felt the shift, the way my footing became unsteady, how the ground beneath me no longer felt solid, and I looked down. We weren't even standing on the ground anymore. We were standing on people, layers of them. A fresh wave then hit, knocking me sideways, and my feet slipped. I went down hard, knees landing on something that should have been soft but wasn't. Knees landing on something that should not have been soft but was. Hands clutched at my arms, my legs, my shirt, grabbing out desperately, yanking me down with them. Pain lanced through my wrist, a sharp, white-hot crack. It felt broken for sure, and I began screaming. I tried to pull myself up using anything, shoulders, backs, bodies. Whoa. I tried to pull myself up using anything, shoulders, backs, bodies, but my hands sank into flesh, into slick sweat-drenched clothes, and into hair. Right in front of me, I'd been pushed face down, and I realized I was seconds from people now walking on top of me. Below me, there was a man lying on his back, staring right at me. We were damn near nose to nose. He was smiling, not moving, not blinking. The guy wasn't panicked at all. He looked euphoric, perfectly at home down there on the ground. Beyond him, though, I could see layers of other people underneath, at least 4 people thick. All of them were dead silent, patient, just lying there without a care in the world. It was the most unsettling thing I've ever seen. I pushed myself back so I could get back onto my knees. What the fuck? No way. Back onto my knees. Sorry, I had to move. Sorry, I just sprayed myself with a homie spray and I get excited. All right. My knees. Brother. back onto my knees. Good show, huh? He mouthed out to me, and I couldn't even find a response. And then a foot came down on his face, and his head snapped sideways. His eyes remained open, but I could tell that his neck was seriously messed up now. Mariah. Where was Mariah? I thrashed upward, shoving, clawing, trying to breathe through the nausea rising up in my throat. The pressure was unbearable, suffocating. The music still played, loud and thundering, completely unaware of the nightmare happening right below it. I finally broke the surface of bodies, and Mariah was there. She was still up, fighting. Her arms were locked around some guy's shoulder, trying to wedge herself sideways, her face streaked with tears and sweat. I forced my way toward her, using every shifting pocket of space, every moment of chaos to push forward. I slammed my elbow into somebody's ribs, stepped hard enough that somebody cursed, and I finally reached her. She grabbed my shirt, shaking. "We have to go." I nodded. No words, just movement. The air was now hot, literally smelling like blood. I didn't look down. I didn't want to look down again. The ground was nothing but bodies now, shifting layers of arms and legs and faces pressed against the asphalt. More people continued to go under, more screams following it. Somebody grabbed at my leg, a hand, fingers wrapping tight around my ankle. I still didn't look. I couldn't. I knew what was down there, and it made me sick to think about. Mariah and I pushed forward. It was like navigating a maze where the walls were moving, where every wrong turn meant getting buried alive. We shoved, we fought, we clawed our way through, breaking free in bursts of open space before the crush threatened to take us once more. And then finally, out of nowhere, a gap, just enough to run through, and that's exactly what we did. We ran. I don't remember how far or how long, only that the moment that we broke free, it felt like coming up for air after drowning. The crush of bodies behind us blurred into one single writhing mass, but we kept pushing forward, shoving past dazed festival goers who hadn't even realized what was happening yet. My wrist was throbbing, every jarring step sending fresh pain rocketing up my arm, but I did not stop. I could not stop. Mariah was clinging to my side, gasping out for air. Where do we go now? I scanned the grounds. There, a large white medical tent near the perimeter, glowing beneath the harsh floodlights. There, I gritted out, leading her forward. My legs barely even felt real, like they'd gone numb from all that adrenaline. As we got closer, though, I realized something was wrong. The tent was already overwhelmed, bodies spilling out from the entrance, people slumped against side panels, some lying flat on the ground. A few were throwing up, their legs. A few of them were throwing up, their limbs twitching. Others were completely unconscious, their faces slack and gray. A medic was kneeling over a girl shouting for something. Narcan? Was she overdosing? A man staggered past us, blood dripping from his nose, his lips split wide open. His eyes were glassy and unfocused. He wasn't focused. He wasn't looking at anything, he just walked. Mariah stopped short and grabbed my good arm. "No," she said. No. This isn't safe." And she was right. This was just as crazy as the nightmare we just escaped from. This wasn't a refuge. This was another disaster zone. Another push of the crowd and this place would collapse like everything else. The bass still pounded through the air. The festival was still going on. Up on stage, Travis kept performing. The crowd was screaming for him, oblivious or uncaring about the bodies piling up just beyond their reach. Another girl ran past me, sobbing. A security guard tried to grab her, but she twisted away, disappearing off into the night. Nobody was in control here, not anymore. A deep, rattling pain pulsed in my wrist. My fingers were Oh, that scared the shit out of me. Oh my God. That charm fucking scared the shit out of me. Nobody was in control here, Not anymore. Not anymore. Let's get this. Let's get her fucking done, shall we? We're almost. I think we're. Yeah, this is the last page. A deep rattling pain pulsed in my wrist. My fingers were barely able to. Not anymore. Okay. A deep rattling pain pulsed in my wrist. My fingers barely able to curl into a fist. It was definitely broken. I knew it was broken. But nobody was coming to help. No EMTs were looking at me. They couldn't. They were already drowning in everything else and everyone else. Mariah still clung to me. Her whole body was trembling. "We have to get out of here," she whispered over and over, and I didn't argue. We turned towards the exit, which felt impossible. There appeared to be at least 2,000 people between us and the way out. The crowd was still surging, the pressure pushing outward now, like water trying to breach a dam. People weren't trying to enjoy the festival anymore. They were now trying to escape it. Security had lost control completely. They weren't checking wristbands, they weren't directing traffic, they weren't even stopping people from climbing the fences. Hell, there were people climbing the stage decorations. There were people climbing the stages just to get out of the crowd. A man near us clawed his way up to the barricade, scrambling up over the top before dropping into the parking lot on the other side. He hit the pavement hard, his ankle twisting into a sprain beneath him. He got up anyway and didn't even look back. Mariah and I continued to push forward, using every inch of space that we could find, fighting against the tide of people, still pressing toward the stage. Somebody grabbed at my shoulder, trying to use me for balance, and I yanked away. I wasn't going down again. The closer we got to the perimeter, the worse the air felt. It was sour now, like we weren't just breathing in dust and sweat anymore, but something rotten. Fear, desperation, death. Then finally, the gates. We pushed through, shoving past that last security checkpoint, our bodies half limping and still shaking. And then finally, we were outside, breathing real air, and I'll never forget how grateful I was. The night hit like ice water, crisp and shockingly real. The night hit like ice water, crisp and shockingly. Still can't fucking say shockingly right now. I keep trying to say sharkingly. The night. Well, I was. Shame. This AI was on a roll. So true. So true. So true. This reminds me of, have you guys ever watched the video of that concert where, I don't remember what the band is. It was like a local band that used like fire or some kind of pyrotechnics. Is it pyrotechnics? Pyrotechnics? Some kind of shit on stage, and like the stage caught on fire, and there's a video of it and everything, and there's like a fucking couple of hundred people inside this room, and everybody's trying to funnel out the same way, and everybody, like, it just chaos fucking happens as soon as that shit catches on fire, and a bunch of people died. That, I didn't really think I had like a fear of something like that until you watch that, and that's why, another reason why I don't like big crowds like that, you know, like shit fucking pops off. Like, I'm trying to think, I'm gonna find it. Stage catches on fire and traps concert goers inside bar. Yeah, here it is. This is fucking nightmare fuel. For me, at least. Watch that tonight, tomorrow, later, or don't watch it at all. But it's fucking crazy, dude. I don't remember where I seen this at, but yeah. Alright, we're almost done with this story. And I gotta go pee-pee. So let's get it done, please. I'm gonna try to pronounce shockingly right this time and not sharkingly. The night hit like ice water. The night hit us like ice water, crisp and shockingly real. The sounds of the festival still pounded behind us, but out here, it was different. People were collapsed against their cars, some sobbing and some just staring. Police sirens wailed off in the distance. The real emergency response. Response? What? The real emergency response. Too little, too late. Mariah leaned up against me, her breath harsh as hell. We made it. I just nodded, but my hands were still shaking. We sat there on the curb, staring at the distant flashing lights. My wrists throbbing, and my whole body ached, but we were alive. But some weren't. I never even told Mariah about that man on the ground, the smiling one. The one who didn't even blink as they walked on top of him. I guess, why burden her with my nightmares? Alright, Peter, these fucking stories are done now. The fucking stories are done. So you can piss off. I know my hometown, the stage caught fire at a gig, but at least it was outside and raining. Or someone from was a big deal. Someone from was a big deal and scared. Yeah, it's really fucking. I mean, that's no joke. Like that's fucking. I got uncomfortable watching that, just because imagining myself in that position. Like, it doesn't matter how big you are, how strong you are, any of that shit, man. When people, as a crowd that big starts moving in one direction, all trying to funnel out of one exit in that small of a space with a fucking fire growing exponentially quickly on the opposite end, yeah, that fight or flight shit fucking kicks in, and you fall, you trip, you bump into somebody, you fall, you're fucking done. You're done. Was it? Is it fucking what? Sharon? Is it some small club? Fuel. You'll be my fuel forever, baby. Oh God, easy. I'm not trying to get turned on right now. The doors open in the room and they all try to push out, and yeah, well, I mean, when you have that many people, if you would have obviously in a situation like that, trying to go slow and methodical about it, it's not going to happen. Everybody's rushing and trying to get out at the same time, but if everybody wouldn't have funneled that quickly like that, everybody could have easily got out, but everybody's panicking and rushing and trying to get out, which obviously just made it worse. All right. All these stories are done. I'm just going to delete them and that's it. I'm not going to do an episode. I've changed my mind. I'm actually going to delete Booze and Booze. Never upload anymore. And I'm putting all of my resources, all of my money, all of my time, all of my effort into my new line called Homie Spray. Homie Spray and Homie Stank. Look for it in a store near you, in Amazon, Walmart, Meijer, Kroger's, King Soopers. It'll be out there. Don't worry. I've worked crowd control at a concert. When a crowd mobs, it's no joke, whether it be general admission or otherwise. Yeah, I can only imagine. And you can't control that shit, when you got thousands of people just like hive mind, like fucking some caveman shit where it's fight or flight. That instinct kicks in, that lizard brain shit, Kmart? Is there still Kmarts? I feel like didn't they go bankrupt and close all their doors? Kmart. Sears is fucking dead too. There's no way Sears is still open, right? Anxious 247. I am currently working on 4 or 5 episodes I have, and I've got like almost all of them done, And so since I haven't posted there in quite a while, I'm kind of like in the mindset now of where I'm going to take a break from it for a while, because it's a lot of work, and not like really take a break. I'll still be uploading, but I've already not uploaded in like 2 fucking months now. So I'm just going to have like 5 or 6, no, maybe 4 or 5 episodes that I'm just going to schedule. So it'll be bi-monthly. More than likely, the first one will be out here next week, and then I'll just schedule them every 2 weeks to come out, and then I can kind of like reset and reassess and do all that stuff, and then start working on the ones that'll be, because I got probably about 2 months worth of videos that I can put up. I just need to finish a couple of them, and then yeah, it's a lot of work. Those are a lot of work, and I knew it was gonna be a lot of work. It's a lot more work than I put into Booze and Booze episodes, so it's taken me a lot longer, unfortunately. Kmart, K-Smart. All right, I go pee. I'll be right back. All right. All right. Well, Salem, thanks for stopping in. Hope you have a good night, wherever you are in the world. No, not surprised. And why do people keep drinking drinks handed them by sketchy stranger people? No, yeah, you aren't wrong. Especially nowadays, man. You can't trust nobody. This shit's been going on, obviously, for a long time, but you can't. I don't trust anybody. Hardly ever. If I just meet you, I don't fucking know you. I don't fucking trust you. I don't know, you know? I've never gotten... I mean, in those situations, I'm always watching my drink, or I buy drinks that I know nobody can fuck with. Like, get a beer, watch the person, bartender, open it in front of me. Bada boom, bada bing. But granted, I'm not probably in that type of vulnerable position more than women are. You know, I'm not really at bars very often either, so. But when you got a big, handsome, broccoli-haired Taden coming at you, I mean, can you blame her? Probably was r/handsome. He said things like, "I got you. Let's change that." Smiled a couple of times. Winky winked at her a few times. Bump into some music. Probably had some really handsome boat shoes on. Shut down selling product. Yeah, Blockbuster was dope. We also had another like local, I don't know if it was just local to here, but another one called Family Video. Remember Eaton's and Woodward's and Zeller's? I don't think Zeller's sounds familiar, but Eaton's and Woodward's not to me. Party at Derek's at Booze Makes It there. Yeah, I'm on my way right now. You talking to me all flustered, are you? Well, I have that effect, especially when I clear my throat. All right. I think we need, hold on. We gotta. Yeah, okay. Alright, y'all. Well, I think I'm gonna edit these and get shit fucking squared away for the episode tonight, because normally I record these on Wednesday and get most of it done, and then I have less work to do on Thursday. But yesterday I was too nice out, so I'm gonna get this stuff squared away. I'm gonna get this stuff edited all together so you guys can get this episode out tonight, because I think it's supposed to storm really bad here over the next couple of days, and like 60 70 like mile per hour winds and potential for tornadoes and stuff like that. So I don't want to wait any longer and then lose internet or power or some fucking dumb shit and then not be able to get this out. So I'm gonna make sure I get it done today. Appreciate y'all for stopping in. TY, my guy. Look out for Homie Stank and Homie Spray on the shelves at a local grocer and stores near you. And yeah, music festival stories tonight. And I think next week is funeral home stories. Ouija episode is a random summer episode. Let's use it for May 6th. I'll be out of town. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, so mortician and funeral home stories, and then I can't remember what the other one is. All right. But yeah. Talk to y'all later. Appreciate y'all stopping in. Have a good rest of your Thursday, and I'll see you tonight for these actual stories. Take care, y'all. Toodaloo. Adios. Au revoir.